Hello there. Are you interested in learning a foreign language? I assume you are. You clicked this video, which has quite an accurately named title and thumbnail. Today, I'm going to be teaching you all of my tips and tricks on how I became, for the most part, conversationally fluent in German using nothing but the free language learning app, Duolingo. Also going forward, by the way, I'm not sponsored. I've tried, believe me, I've tried. But I did win this shirt in a contest last year, so it's got a little cute owl on it. So right off the bat, the first question I get more than any other is, why German? And I mostly get this from German speakers. They're like, why would you learn my language? Why would you do this to yourself? I chose German because it seemed fun to me. It was one of those languages that I wasn't forced to learn in school, like Spanish or French, so I went out of my way to pick this on my own. Also, I mean, as you can tell, I got a bit of German heritage. I mean, I've got blonde hair, blue eyes. My last name, Edinger, supposedly means someone from the town of Edingen, which is a small town in Heidelberg, Germany. So for those reasons, I picked it, and I'm really glad. It was a fun language to commit to. I mean, if I wanted to learn something useful in terms of like growing my audience, I probably would have done Spanish, but I chose German strictly for pleasure. Which, if you understand how German grammar works, you must think I sound a bit like a masochist. Maybe. Learning German for pleasure. I do sound crazy now that I think about it. Another question I get asked a lot is, why Duolingo? I mean, there's a lot of options out there for learning a foreign language, so why would you choose this one particularly? Well, many reasons. One, it's free, okay? If you're wanting to learn a language, this is a free way to do it. It's fun. I genuinely can attest to it being fun. And three, it works. It really works. I can attest to that because in November, I went to a trip to Australia with 2 German vloggers from Stuttgart, and these people mostly spoke German. They didn't speak much English, and so I had to communicate in German with them, and I found I could. I could literally speak a language that was not English using just a free language learning app. That's amazing. Sure, I was making mistakes and I was speaking rather slowly in order to formulate the grammar correctly, or rather, I was very slowly in order to formulate the grammar correctly speaking. But at the end of the day, I was communicating in a language that was not my birth language. Now, the follow-up question to that is, how did I get here? How did I get to this level of learning using just Duolingo? I've had many a friend that signed up to Duolingo and they give up after a week or two. And I've also had friends on the other side that got very passionate about it and then rushed their tree, finished it too early, and then collapsed under the pressure of trying to make everything gold. There really is a right way to do this. The most important thing when learning a foreign language is consistency. You can't just binge and do a lot one day and then not do anything for another couple days. That's not really gonna help you in the long run. You've gotta commit and do this every single day. Check out my Duolingo streak, right? I'm really proud of this boy. That is over 2 years of daily use. And it's not to say that I didn't miss a single day, it's just that I purchased the streak freeze option with in-game currency, which is free. You get extra currency for learning more. But it's this thing that I'm proud of now, that I've built up this much and I've been consistent every single day. And I'll go out of my way at a party to be like, hold on, I have to do my Duolingo in the bathroom. I need to at least make sure I can do it. You know, I don't want to lose that streak. You see, Duolingo makes learning a language competitive. And as a super competitive person, that works out heavily in my favor. The streak option is kind of a way to be competitive with yourself, whereas they also have a feature that shows you how your friends on Facebook have been learning for the last week, for the last month. So you can be like, oh, it looks like Bliss has been doing a lot this week. She's actually surpassed me. She's done more lessons. I need to learn some more. That's genuinely what I've done. I've wanted to make sure that I'm always #1 on the leaderboard every month, so I do extra German and I learn more. Learning makes me win. This sounds like an ideal society to me, okay? I don't know, it works for me. All right, so how did I do Duolingo right? I just said do Duolingo. At no point in time did I ever rush. You cannot rush an education. I'd spend anywhere from 10 minutes to an hour a day learning Duolingo every day, where every once in a while I'd spend more than an hour if I was just having a fun time with it or if I had a lot of extra free time. But it's about how you spend your time on Duolingo that matters. See, the site knows when you know a word and it knows when a word's meaning is getting a little fuzzy, and so previous lessons that you've learned will then ungold, meaning that you have to practice them to get them back up to speed. If there was one rule you got out of this video, it would be do not go and learn a new lesson on Duolingo until all your previous lessons have been golded, at least. At least have them all golded, and then grab another lesson under your belt and do those, and then add that to the pile, and then just keep studying and refreshing and doing the practice over and over and over until you're comfortable enough with what you have. And it gets much longer, obviously, towards the end of the tree when you have so many to make sure are gold, but it's not a rush, okay? You're gonna learn a language, you're gonna do it the right way. Memorizing is all about repetition, so the further down your tree you go, you need to constantly make sure you're strengthening your roots. So when you're learning Duolingo, are you using the desktop site or the app? Because if you are taking learning a new language seriously and you want to become fluent, I'm going to recommend 9 times out of 10, spend your time on the desktop site. The Duolingo mobile app is nice, but I find it more suited towards someone that's casually learning a foreign language, whereas more serious people should be considering the desktop site. Why? Well, the mobile app challenges are things like vocab words and definitions. and matching them just by tapping the two meanings. You don't have to recall as much except, oh yes, this one means this one, as opposed to the desktop site where most of it is, here's the word, now you from your brain have to recall what the definition is. Yes, it's a lot more difficult, but it's a lot more effective for learning. And the desktop site offers you timed challenges, which I find much more effective in terms of getting my adrenaline pumping, like, oh gosh, I'm running out of time, I have to hurry up and get this question right, and every question you get right, you get more time out of the clock, and at the end of the day, if you're more competitive, you can have the chance for 20 experience points to bop you up on that leaderboard versus 10. So I like it. I like time challenge mode. Another reason the desktop site is more for those taking learning a new language more seriously, they have forums for every single question that they offer. Let's say you're just given the sentence, Ich gebe einem Mann den Apfel. I'm giving a man the apple. And you're like, why is it einem Mann? Why is it den Apfel? I don't get it. Isn't it usually der? Isn't it usually ein? And then you click the discussion button at the bottom of the tab, and guess what? Boom! You've just got someone that also asked that question, doesn't know, and then a native German speaker under them saying, oh, well, it's einem because it's in the dative form. Check this website. And then the person usually sources with extra grammar and extra help, and it's so useful. It's so frustrating when you're trying to learn something and you're told you're wrong and you don't know why, and there's no one to teach you. If you're going to be teaching yourself a language, oh my gosh, if you're using Duolingo, just use the desktop site, use the discussion for each one. It is so useful. Some people might try and knock Duolingo and say that the sentences are too small and there's not a lot of context for actual use, but Duolingo has also recently come out with its stories mode, which I have tried a lot for German. I find stories phenomenal. They're really funny and interesting. I read a German story about a girl who went on a horrible blind date, and another about a guy who was pet sitting for his friend's bird and accidentally burnt her house down. So those are weird stories, but they were completely in German. From the narrating, from the characters, everything was in German. It also asked every 2 sentences for comprehension, like, what do you think this word means? Yet again, 100% in German. It's how I learned English, and that's why I know it's working for me when I'm learning. Another big question a lot of Duolingo users will have is, should I pay for Duolingo Plus? Now, I've used it for 3 months, and I'm gonna give it a soft pass. Now here's what Duolingo Plus offers. For £10 a month, you get an ad-free experience, which, to be fair, you can get in other ways, and you get to download your lessons for offline. However, as someone that frequently travels quite a lot and thought this would be a great idea so I could like download the lessons, do it on the plane, it works 1 out of 10 times. It's not that great. For some reason, even though I did download it, I had Wi-Fi when I downloaded lessons, it just won't let me do it. It works every once in a while, but especially at a price tag of £10 a month for a package that's usually free, it doesn't warrant that price tag, really. I'd say, yes, it's a good idea if you want to support the company. I mean, I've been using this for 2 years, so I still have it because I just want to kind of give back in a way. But in terms of the difference between the paid version and the free version, just take the free version any day. A big question you get when you're learning Duolingo is, what do I do after Duolingo? Because Duolingo has an end, so you kind of get freaked out when you're like, I don't know what I'm gonna do after that. There's a lot of good strategies that I've used. One of those is reading. Now, some people say, download a book like Harry Potter, but I don't think you're quite ready for Harry Potter level books when you finish Duolingo. You're ready to read some things, but not necessarily at that grade level. One series I found incredibly useful for learning German was a book series called Dino lernt Deutsch, which is meant for people learning the language, and it's about this guy named Dino who moves to Germany to learn German, and the sentences are quite easy in that I can understand what they're saying, but there's enough introduced later on that it's exciting. And I'm like, oh, I don't know what that is. And also, if you have a Kindle, you can literally just tap a word and it will live translate it for you if you have Wi-Fi. Boom, ich means I. Can't believe I didn't know that. Also, a good thing about this series in particular is it will give you certain idioms and expressions in these stories that are bolded, and then at the end of the lesson, not only will it tell you what each of those mean, if you didn't pick it up with the context, it also offers a little quiz on what happened so, you comprehend it. It's phenomenal. But let's just say reading isn't your thing. A lot of people will swear by putting on foreign films or foreign TV shows with English subtitles will help, and honestly, I don't quite get that. When I put on German shows with English subtitles, I find my brain is more focused on reading the English than it is listening to the German. Maybe that's just me, but I don't find that an effective educational tool at all. What I do find useful is putting German audio on with German subtitles. Then I can pause it if I want to kind of focus on what they're actually saying, or just keep going and learn through the acting what's happening. If you are learning German, the series Dark on Netflix is amazing. It's basically like Stranger Things, except scarier in German, and the subtitles are perfect. Now you might find that a weird sentence. Why wouldn't the subtitles be perfect, Evan? Well, fun fact, Germans don't really give a crap about the hard of hearing, or I guess people learning their language, because it is so hard to find good German media with accurate or existent German subtitles. I'll find English, sometimes I find Spanish, but rarely German. And if it is German, it won't be correct. It'd be like if I said to you, I had gone to the store yesterday, and then as a subtitle, I wrote, yesterday I went to the store. Yes, they both mean the same thing. But if you're learning another language, or if you're hard of hearing, how is that useful? Maybe you can comprehend it, sure, but it's just not as good. Not as good at all. It's very annoying. Despite loving their weird grammar, Germans don't give a crap about subtitles. They will just switch, whoop, right to the preterite, be like, did they say preterite? No, that's just for written. Well, let's write it then. Right. Some people will say a good strategy to do after you finish your Duolingo tree is to do it in reverse. That means learning English as a German speaker. I've tried this. I'm not going to recommend it. I'm going to give that as well a soft pass. I find it just a bit too slow. At the stage where you've finished your German tree, I don't really want to go back and learn, I am a boy, you are a girl. I mean, yeah, there's some extra words I found that I didn't learn doing it the normal way, but it's too slow for me. At this stage, I need to learn more. There are better ways to effectively use my time. Now, there is a site that I was recommended that I would recommend called Closemaster. Closemaster touts itself as the thing that you do after you finish Duolingo. And I'd agree. Honestly, it's quite difficult in a good way. I'm learning and it's difficult and I just want to keep going, and I just need to get myself worked up into a streak like I do on Duolingo, and I think it would be an incredibly effective tool for language learning. And yet again, like I said, it's free. I'm not offering you things that aren't free, okay? If you want to learn a foreign language at this point, there is no excuse. It is free, it is easy, hop on it. Pokemon, go to the polls. Do Duo learn that language. So the title, can you become fluent using just Duolingo? I'm gonna give it a soft yes. There's a lot of soft today, okay? It's part of my aesthetic, just a bit soft. I'd say, yes, you can become conversationally fluent using Duolingo, but using it as a huge stepping stool and reading, watching films, and engrossing yourself in the culture is the best way of actually, becoming fluent. And if I have incensed you guys into becoming really good at a foreign language, then I guess you could call me an influencer, because I influenced you to become fluent. Just make sure you're consistent and you use it all the time. The expression use it or you lose it is a very true statement, okay? I learned Spanish all throughout my life, from like elementary school, middle school to high school, got straight A's, got to Spanish 4, and then I stopped using it, and I regret it. And I will not let that happen with my German. I'm gonna keep going until I'll make my first fully German video. We'll see. So thank you very much for watching this video. Hopefully you found it very useful if you're also attempting to learn a foreign language. If you're German, please leave me some good German TV shows and films, possibly with good subtitles that I can watch. That'd be really great. Or if I'm missing out on any special Duolingo techniques, also leave them in the comments. Also, announcement, do you like puns? Do you hate wars? I've got you, fam. I've got some merch for you. It's finally out. Make puns, not wars. We've got shirts. We've got posters. We've got phone cases, stickers. Get some today. The link's in the description. I'm so happy to release this. It's been ages, but it's alive, and I love it. I wear the shirt all the time. Make puns, not wars. Yes, thank you for the support, by the way. And before I go, since you've decided to watch this incredibly long video, I'll leave you with one final pun. What do German people think of the fee they're charged for being too awesome? They think it's toll. See ya.